Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your boy Wadude, belly belly boom boom, making all the girls go to the room. You know, I'm I'm out here, I'm out here trying to rub my mind with my brothers, talking about life, talking about past experiences and traumas. You know, my name is Yanulu Amolayo Olamide. Yeah, Yanulu, the name everybody calls me at home. Amolayo, my surname, and Olamide, my middle name. Yeah, I come from um, how would I say this? I come from a Christian home. My dad is a pastor, you know, and my mom is a big believer, you know. So I grew up, I grew up living. I would say, yeah, I grew up living a very righteous life, you know. I grew up in a home where there was love, yeah, where there was love. I'm always glad my mom stayed with my dad, you know. That was one of the biggest blessings ever. Number one blessing ever. My mom stayed, and you know that in turn it affected us to to understand what love is, and it really shaped my life. Yeah, I would not be lying. It really shaped my life. So I had a very beautiful start in life. Very, very smart, brilliant boy. Yeah, I think I've always been smart. Smart, brilliant boy. You know, I'm a pastor, fresh. You know, so so yeah, I did my little schools. I did it back in my hood, and that was in Oroshiki. Yeah, and from there I went to a boarding house. Yeah, I went to a boarding house, and it was from the boarding house the story of my life. You know, it was from that boarding house the story of my life started. In life, looked at me, and I really saw life looking at me, because it took me a lot of time to really, accept the situation, but I had to, because it is what it is. It is what it was, you know. So, yeah, I'm a pastor, cool, brilliant, intelligent boy, no sin, always upright with God, never fucked before, no girl in my life, nobody, you know. So it was just about that, until after one time I went home for a midterm break, and I met a girl. Yeah, I met a girl called Tosin. Yeah, yeah, I met a girl called Tosin, and that was the beginning of. I would say that was the beginning of the end. You know, I have no bad blood with you, but if you're seeing this, but you were part of, um, you were part of something that really shaped me into becoming who I am today. You know, big up to you. Big up to you. You're still my person. We still fuck with each other. You know, we're still cool. So it was after I met Tosin, I started my first love journey. You know, being a teenager in love. Yeah, a teenager in love. That was my first time experiencing love. You know, I was obsessed, practically obsessed. I was crazy. I was just, I was just doing shit. You know, I was just fooling myself. I wouldn't say I was fooling myself. I was just being a youth. I wouldn't say I was being a teenager. Yeah, I was just being a natural teenager. Yeah, I was just being, yeah, it's just fulfilling me being a natural teenager. So, it happened that I had to go back to school. And when I go back to school, I realized, man, this is my first time loving somebody. So it became very, very difficult for me um, to process the fact that we would have to, we'd have to love each other from a very far distance. So it was very difficult for me, you know. The second time I went for an holiday, I decided to, bring a mobile phone to a school where it was banned. So, I sneaked the phone in. I brought the phone into the school and I was calling my girl. It was beautiful at first. I was calling my girl. It was all rosy. I was I'll call my girl, tell her I miss her, this, that. She was all about that too. I've never been heartbroken before in my life. So, it was going on and it was going on for a while until everything started changing from our side, Mind you, we were both teenagers and we were just fulfilling our natural obligations, by experiencing love the first time. I wouldn't say she was being bad. No, you were never being bad. You were just being a normal teenager. So, no bad blood. So she was probably seeing somebody else or somebody else was involved then. So the energy changed. The energy dropped. That was my first, would I say my first touch with heartbreak? Yes, that was my first touch with heartbreak, but I wouldn't count it as heartbreak because I was in denial for a very long time. I was in denial for a very, very long time. I wasn't going to agree that, everything has just crashed like that. So, it was going on, it was happening until she went away. I couldn't reach out to her again. Everything just stopped.
So how long did it take for you to move on?
Bro, I couldn't move on. I really couldn't move on because it actually affected me. Yeah, I started acting different to everybody. I started acting different. That was one of the issues that landed me my first ever trouble. Yeah, first ever trouble in school. Yeah, because I was that boy, lover boy. Everybody knew I had the phone. I called my girl. Every other student didn't have a phone, but I had my phone to call. So there was a guy called Ayokunle. Yeah. So he decided to play with me that night. He picked up my phone in my locker and he decided to tease me and make me look for my phone. So me, I was experiencing heartbreak now. I got pissed. So I was triggered. I got pissed because somebody was telling me, I think it's with. So somebody was giving me the sign like I think it's with him. So I was asking him my phone. I got so pissed off. I had to just pick him up on the chair. Bro, where's my phone? Where's my phone, bro? Crazy. The boy didn't even do it. You know what he did? He just stood up. He walked straight to the vice principal's office. He said it in the most literal way. Sir. They used to call me Edda in school. Edda has a mobile phone. He said it in the most literal way that I have a mobile phone and mobile phone is the not with him. Yeah, no. He took the mobile phone because the mobile phone was not allowed in the school and he was planning to come and report. So the vice principal was just straight to don't stress. Bring me the phone. Ed Olamide joined me in the office. That was like my first time in life. I had to suffer. I suffered for something that wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, I actually suffered because I was made to do some type of punishment that really messed with my head.
Suffered for love, bro.
I suffered for love and I suffered for being, for letting my emotions get over me and I got so angry and I had to punch somebody. That was one of the first few mistakes.
So what do you have to say to like?
No. Let me continue. The vice principal of my school then was a farmer. Was a big farmer. So there was this type of punishment he gave me. He took me to his farm. Yeah. And then it was a dry season. Yeah, they had leaves falling from the trees every now and then. He gave me like an acre of land and he told me to pick all the dry leaves. I picked so many dry leaves that I got drained mentally. Like it was slow, but it was excruciating. You know, it was slow, but I was slowly dying of being patient. You know, where you have to pick like a whole acre of land of dry leaves. You know, when you are picking this before you turn back, another one is, you know. So it was,
It's not painful.
yeah, it was painful. Like I did it for like 2 weeks straight.
Wow.
You know, that was one of the first situations that messed up my life. When I realized, yeah, okay, I think these people has painted me to be a rebel. I need to be a rebel. Yeah, I need to be a rebellious child. Since you people have seen me as a rebellious child already, you know. So I had to be rebellious. Like I decided to be rebellious all the time. So you know, I was forgiven. Yeah, I was forgiven by the school authority. I was given the last chance never to be on the bad books again. You know. Well, let's see. Time went on. I decided to be a good student, but I knew I was still I still have that very rebellious spirit inside me, but I tried to be a good student because my dad is a pastor, and he was always telling me, you know, so many people are looking up to, like, so many people those one of the first few lies, first deceptions. My dad telling me like, so many people are looking up to me for coming to a rich, you know, for a rich kid school. So other people are looking at me on what I will become. So that's one of the few, first few things that really messed up my mind. You know, letting myself know that I have to act right, I have to do this. You know, one of the first few things that messed up my mind. But you know, I just had to be who I was. I was just doing my thing. Until one time when we resumed again, and mind you, the school I was going to, then, I wouldn't want to call the name, but the school I was going to then wouldn't let students bring in provisions into the quarters. You know, they would take it from us at the gate, so they would store it for us and they would give it to us on a Tuesday, on Thursdays, and maybe Saturdays if they want.
It's not supposed to be your business.
No, bro. So that was out there. They were doing their own thing.
System.
So you know me now. I've always known that is not right, because how would you expect us to bring every single thing? You want us to bring complete set of provisions, and at the gate you take it from us and you take it somewhere else, telling us, you know, on a Tuesday you should bring our cup and come and take whatever they are making for everybody, which is biscuits and Milo, Choco Milo, which is crazy, bro. So you know, I took it upon myself to, you know, to breaking into that store. I broke into that store in school. Yeah, practically broken. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I went into that store. That was when I knew I'm a very solid person, because the store was inside the school chapel, and the school chapel was very, very big, like almost big as a stadium.
Yeah.
Very, very big and large. And when I would break into that thing, it was always dark. You know, there was no light anywhere. And I would break in, I would find my way into that store. When I was small, I was always scared of the dark. But after I went into that store, I knew there's nothing again in this life that can hurt me. I went to that store and I came back. I realized, man, nothing in this life can hurt me, you know. I would go into the store, take some provisions. No, you know, it was just there. It was just there. You know, it was just there, bro. I would tell you some truth. It was just there. So I just had to break in, take some provisions, take it back to the hostel. You know, then I stopped going to the school kitchen to ask for food, because I had my locker stocked up with provisions. So I didn't have to even go and ask for food from anybody, you know. I was just living my life fresh boy, but I had some haters, because people were like, how dare you? So, you know, I was just doing my thing. And, you know, because I was a very kind, sweet kid, I had this sweet kid in me. I would still call some people, bro, come bring your plates. I'll give it to them. I was doing Robin Hood, you know, collect from the rich, give to the poor. So it was going on. I had some friends. They decided to join in on it. So we would go together. We would take it together. Come back to the school. Come back to the school hostel. You know, give it out to students. Make everybody feel alright. Just for the fun of it, you know. And just because I was being very, very rebellious at that point in my life. So it was going on smooth until we had to go home on holidays. Yeah, we had to go home for holidays. And it was then I realized what was really going on with the provisions. It was then I realized at the end of each holiday, the teachers would go up. They would go up there. They'll go up there. They will stock up they'll stock up their cars with the provisions that they kept up there. They'll take it to their family. So by the time they went to the store at the end of that holiday, they saw almost nothing. So they were like, how come? So the corruption was happening.
Yeah.
It needed somebody like me to break that chain for everybody to really understand what was happening. So it was just crazy. And that day, it was the last day of school session then, yeah. So they went up there, they were trying to pack some and take it home, and they realized, what is this? When they were asking the questions, when they were like curious about what happened to these stuffs, a student called I know these people by name, called Dotun. Dotun was our classmate, but because he knew what was happening, the things we were doing then to get the provisions, and then we were in SS1, we were trying to go, no, we were in GS3 going to SS1, and then it was then discovered we were choosing prefects and and executives. Everybody tried to be on their best behavior. Yes. Everybody wants to be on the on the good side of each teachers and all. So it was Dotun that went to meet those teachers that I have something to say. That was when I knew. That was when I first witnessed what rats is. We're so ratted. Dotun was like, sir.
Was the first rat.
Dotun was like, I had something to say, sir, and he told him everything. And I remembered we were in the hostel that night, packing our bags, knowing that tomorrow our parents are going to come. The teacher just pulled up. They just pulled up to the hostel. Omolayo, my name. Wadude, my guy. Mayawa, my cousin. No, Mayawa didn't do it. Mayawa didn't go with us. Yeah, Mayawa didn't go with us. They called some of my niggas. Before I knew it, I was in the head principal's office. We couldn't really defend ourselves because it was what it was. It was what it was. So the school invited my dad over. Yeah, they invited my dad over. He came, and the principal told him they decided they were going to suspend me, but suspend me indefinitely. That they will call me to let me know when I have to resume back. So I felt disappointed because my dad was there. My dad was trying to plead for me, but it was helpless because there was nothing he could do. I've done the most.
Lost at that moment.
I've done the most. So I'm like a bastard child, but I wasn't treated like a bastard child. But I was made to know that for now you are casted away. You are no more. You are no more that loved child. For now. So you are no more that loved child. For now. Excuse me.
You're free.
Line of God.
You're free.
So, you know, I was suspended. Yeah, I was suspended indefinitely, so I had to leave. I had to come back to Lagos. You know, I was at home with my dad for.
So,
No. I had,
what age are you at that
yeah,
point?
I was. I think I was like 15, like 15, yeah,
Wow,
some 14, 15 years old.
that's crazy.
So you know, some 14, 15 years old, bro. So you know, I was at home with my dad for a little while. He told me I was never going to go to school again because I missed the opportunity. You know, because that school was an expensive school for my type of family. My mom had to go to a bank to get they call this thing Lapo loan. Not Lapo, because Lapo was not even present then. There was this microfinance bank loan then that they used to get. She went to take that microfinance bank loan for her to be able to send me there. So you know, that was my first feeling of oh man, I let these people down. So I'm back at home, doing nothing. I'm just I'm hearing all the bash from my family, all the I've been castigated every single day. You know, I had to hear different stories. I had to be preached to. I had to work my way back to being that loved child. You know, but it was very difficult, bro. Very very difficult. You know, it took me over 6 months before they decided to send me back to school. After they did send me back to school, I went to a school back then in my hood. Yeah, and I had to join them I think SS2. Yeah, I joined them and
Lagos, yeah.
in Lagos. Yeah, so and I would tell you, man, it was very easy ride for me because all the things that they were teaching us then in that Lagos school, I've been taught everything back then.
Boarding school.
My body. So I was just riding everybody. I was just I was just flying high with my scores. You know, I was just getting straight A's.
Get back on the level
I
in this
was
school.
I was getting straight A's. I was doing a lot of stuffs. You know, that child that I thought would never ever be serious.
Yeah,
You know,
serious
let me
enough.
tell you, when I first got to that school then, that school back
Yeah.
then, the first time I had 11 F9s.
Man,
Like 11 fucking F9s. Can you imagine? Like F9 failed. I had 11.
first exam.
First exam, I had 11, bro. 11. So, so from 11 F9 to a student that is now, catching straight A's.
On top of the game.
It became so serious that the school had to, make me like, like, like senior prefect. Like senior prefect, but not fully senior prefect. They couldn't make it full because I came there at SS2. So they couldn't just put me over every other person. And the person that was competing with me was a very short boy. They call him Levite. I was Levite. I used to Levite. Levite. His name is Levite. Very short dude. I don't know. I don't know where he is right now, but back then in the school, very short and tiny, but it was a bookworm. But I was a bookworm, big boy, bookworm, lanky. I'm a pastor, big boy,
Yes.
bookworm at the same time for that level. So it was just about that. It was just about that. That was one of the few times I would say I was able to have a control over my life. I felt like I was in control again. But that was one of the few times I felt I was in control again because prior to that time I felt like well, bad child, let's just go that route. But when I went to that school and everything changed, I realized, man, I can still be. So